Let's get into it straight away. I'm going to show you my recipe for overnight oats. I use steel cut oats because they're the best for you. They're less processed than instant oats, which often have sugar or fruit added to them. I'm very careful of what fruit I add, and until I've on my maintenance weight where I know that I'm at the healthy weight, I would not put lots of fruit in it. In fact, the only real fruit I put in there is green banana, which is much better for us. Anyway, let's get into it and I'll show you how to make it. By soaking them overnight, it's kind of like cooking them, but it's way slower. They absorb the liquid and they soften up overnight. They're genius for being able to take to work or on the go in your car, especially if you're not having a breakfast first thing in the morning. In a jar, and away you go. Or you can make them look pretty sexy too. Make it, we start throwing these things into a jar. So it's a teaspoon of chia seeds, a teaspoon of flax seeds, half a teaspoon of powdered cinnamon, 1 tablespoon of goji berries, 2 tablespoons of unsweetened shredded coconut, and in goes the oats, steel cut oats, half a cup in there, and a pinch of Murray River salt or Himalayan salt goes in, 1/4 of a cup of Raglan coconut yogurt, a drizzle or 2 of vanilla essence, and some blueberries, fresh or frozen, doesn't matter, and almond milk, but unsweetened, right? And last of all, I'm putting in the green banana. It's about 1/4 of a green banana. You get them from the supermarket easy, and they last for ages because they're green, right? Slice it up as thin as you can. It adds great texture. Now stir it up and put the lid on into the fridge overnight, and it's ready for you to go the following day, and it will last up to a week. Now I'm just plating it up here, and I've got some pomegranate areoles I'm going to sprinkle on top, and I've also got some hemp hearts going on top there too. Get that magnesium, drizzling it with some balsamic, no honey, no maple syrup, just a lovely balsamic, and there's a little wedge of fig because they're in season on top. But fruit is really something you should put on top. Once you consider you're in maintenance, you've got to your goal weight. But this is an incredibly healthy way to start your day. Well, this sure as hell beats cooking the oats. By soaking them overnight, they're easier to digest because the protein, the carbohydrate, and the other nutrients are broken down. Now, I've said for you to buy steel cut oats. Why? Because they're the least processed of all oats. Most other oats are similar nutritional content, but regardless of how they're processed, less processed oats are going to lower the glycemic index, which is a really good thing, which means it doesn't spike your blood sugar as much. Steel cut oats are actually grouts that have been cut into 2 or 3 pieces. They're way less processed than rolled or instant oats. Check out these bad boys we're going to grate over the top. 2 Brazil nuts, and you're getting your daily intake of selenium just by grating those 2 beautiful nuts over the top. It's like a snow. Great idea for salads too, right? Whole grain steel cut oats also contain beta-glucan, a type of soluble fibre which has been associated with a reduced risk of coronary heart disease, right? So those people that are wanting to control or lose weight, the beta-glucan fibre attracts water and increases the volume of food in the gut, which leaves you feeling full for longer. Happy days. The high fibre and complex carbohydrates slow down the conversion of this whole food to simple sugars. Overnight oats contain heaps of vegetable proteins that are beneficial for our body's metabolism and reduce abnormal sugar levels. Of course, this is very beneficial for lowering type 2 diabetes. Now, the high levels of magnesium nourish the body's proper use of glucose, insulin secretion. I hope you found this informative, and remember, these steel cut oats are the ones to use when you're making overnight oats. They're so good for you. You can change it up, vary it, different toppings, take it to work. It's going to make your life easy, and you can make enough for a week. My recipe's for 2. Join in the chat below. Tell us about your overnight oat recipe and how you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. I'd love you to like and subscribe.